Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin.
And Matt.
Evacuate the city, engage all defenses, and get this podcaster a drink. My name is Landon Down.
That's right. You better be prepared for the oncoming storm over there in Middle Tennessee.
Yes. The storm and the war is coming.
Landon gave us a heads up that he may drop randomly in the middle of this live broadcast recording because the sky is about to fall down on Gallatin. So hopefully he can stick with us and infrastructure doesn't completely collapse.
Yeah, fingers crossed that predicted diamond-size hail avoids us.
That gets me. That gets me every time. Diamond size, whatever. You know, because diamonds, I've seen very small diamonds, so that could be, that's not very threatening, but anyway.
Who's determining these sizes? Is this, Marks and Morgan? Is this more of a Jared storm? what are we talking here?
Oh, the storm went to Jared.
I'm thinking the meteorologist was thinking K's. Because remember, if it just begins with K's.
Are they blood diamonds?
Also, well, if you go outside, then there would be blood diamond-sized hail. But if you think about it, like Jay said, diamonds come in big sizes and in small sizes. So if hail falls, that's within diamond shape. They're covering their ass right there.
You're true. That's true. Good point.
Yep.
Sounds like a band, Hell Falls.
Hell Falls. You're right.
I actually think I have their second album. They're huge in Europe.
Good German following.
They're massive in Czechoslovakia.
Well, happy May the 6th, everyone. We just missed out on the Star Wars holiday and the everyone's favorite drinking holiday in May, Cinco de Mayo. But we're recovering from that today, and this is episode number 86 of Nerd News Cafe. Happy to be back. Sorry there was a little bit of a delay, but we all wanted to be able to consume... Actually, let's be honest, we were recovering from our viewing of Infinity War. It really took it out of us, and we just needed...
And Vegas. Mostly Infinity Wars.
We just needed a couple days. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Landon, obviously, spoiler alert, didn't strike it rich in Vegas. He's back slumming it with us.
Yeah, if I came back in a bigger tax bracket like I was hoping, there would have been some sort of breaking podcast, I guarantee you, about how I am selling the hell out.
Oh, too bad. Maybe next year.
Get paid, get overpaid.
Nice.
I would have sold out to you, Landon.
Hey, absolutely, yeah. I do just want to put that out there. I would like to start selling my body for $50,000 a pop. Just put it out there again, and that has nothing to do with how much money I lost in Vegas. Has nothing to do with it.
That's a terrible phrasing for $50,000 a pop.
Hey, you know what? I stand by my statement.
That's a pretty good. Average per pop, in my opinion, depending on what we're talking about.
Page per pop. You know everybody loves PPP.
Let's move on to drinks, and
maybe I could get extra for that.
I know we've got a lot to get to today, and let me just set up how this show is going to go. We're going to do a kind of a condensed version of our regular show here in the first 10-15 minutes. We're going to get some headlines in here. We're going to follow up on our fantasy football draft that Matt and I wrapped up last week, and we're going to hear all about Landon's team and how much better it is than both of ours. We're going to talk a little God of War. We're going to talk a little Ant-Man and the Wasp, because I don't know if you all saw this last trailer, but it is so good. I'm so excited for that movie. And then we're going to take a little break, give everybody a chance. If you haven't seen Infinity War yet and you don't want it to be spoiled, then you will have a chance to jump out, exit the building, and we're going to give you the opportunity to get out before we get into it. And then we're going to do a spoilerific review of Avengers Infinity War. So all that coming after we check the table and see what people are drinking. So, Landon, you probably are drinking something strong because you're trying to prepare for this storm that's about to knock out all of your power for the next several days. So what have you got on the table?
I am drinking a Diet Coke and Crown Royal. So there you go.
That's classy.
Absolutely classy. I mean, it's a nice drink, but at the same time, it's a Diet Cola. I have to watch my girlish figure. I'm obviously watching my calorie intake.
Yep. All right. Matt, what have you got going on?
Water. Just my usual cranberry and lime smooth polar water.
We're going to have to hook you up with some gin or some vodka at some point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have them. I just don't use them.
Because I always feel like your drinks come like they're running to the finish line and then they sit down. Like they can see the finish line, but like, man, we've gone this far.
Well, if they strap in for the spoilerific second part, It's going to be Dunkle time.
Oh,
It's Uncle Tom McClutton, mother. Yeah, I'll try to watch my language to keep the edit easy on you, Jay. How about
hey, appreciate that.
early birthday gift?
I'm going classy on a Sunday afternoon. I have a tall glass of Bodabox dry rose wine. So
Ooh, there you go.
yeah,
So you're drinking the tall box, the entire thing.
not the whole
Tall
box. There wasn't
box.
much of it left, but I almost emptied it out.
There you go.
In an aluminum box.
Yeah, preferably a box you could crack open at the top and drink like a can. Hell, we should just put wine in cans now. I'm sure that
Yeah.
exists.
It does. It has to.
Yeah, no doubt.
If nothing else, you've breathed it into existence.
Yeah, but that does sound classy AF, Jay.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a holiday weekend. One holiday I forgot to mention was Free Comic Book Day was yesterday. Did either of you gentlemen get to partake?
No, I did not because I had to go to work. And also, another holiday we missed, if you're an Arrested Development fan, it was or Cinco de Cuatro. So there you go. Or Cuatro de Mayo. Sorry, Tim.
Oh, wow. That present just got rescinded.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I still gave you the gift. Just remember that.
It's the thought that counts.
There you go.
Matt, did you grab any?
I didn't. I didn't get a chance to jump down to Nirvana or really anything. So
Okay. I went over to Snake Eyes, and I did pick up a few things. And the selection was pretty good this year. I didn't get a chance. I was going to take my recorder with me and just surprise some people and be like, hey, guess what? You're on a podcast.
Hi, I'm a random stranger you've never met. Talking to this microphone. Go.
Yeah. Because I was, it came up on my Facebook story this week that, a year ago we were having our first ever live broadcast out at Nirvana Knoxville. And then I started thinking about the cold and the rain that ensued on that day. And I was like,
that was brutal.
I was like, yeah, it was kind of like, maybe that's what scared us away from trying it again this year. But, and there was an afternoon shower yesterday, so it might have happened to us again. But I picked up some cool stuff, and I was just going to mention a couple things. I got this pretty cool Bob's Burgers comic that I'm pretty excited about. I picked up a Star Wars adventure comic, and it's got Han and Chewie on the front. I got an Amazing Spider-Man, and I also got an Overwatch comic that kind of ties into the lore of Overwatch. And then the last one I want to mention was another Dark Horse comic. It was The Legend of Korra. So from the story, from the legacy of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I picked up a few other things, but...
And you said that Dark Horse put that out?
Yeah, that's a Dark Horse.
Do you remember who was publishing the Overwatch comic?
It's Dark Horse.
Oh, well, dang. Good on you, Dark Horse.
they're just picking them all up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I might have to look into the Overwatch comics because I think I've said on this podcast, I love this, the world of Overwatch, but we know nothing about it, and I'd love to get some backstory on it. So I might have to check those comics.
Yeah, they've
out.
started to build it out a little bit with the comics, and the comics tie into the kind of the playable story modes that they've been releasing recently, in recent.
Oh yeah,
history,
yeah.
I'll say.
Mm-hmm. They had that event in April that was kind of like before the uprising or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm. And that they did. I know they did a story with Junkrat and
Roadhog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Blizzard has been cranking out those shorts online, and I mean those shorts are on Pixar level, so
Yeah, they're real good.
Real good.
So, but anyway, just a quick shout out for Free Comic Book Day. I hope you all got out and got to join in the festivities. Of course, there was cosplay all around and several events, a lot of giveaways. I know Nirvana did a free comics for a year giveaway, and they did kind of a drawing at the end of the day over at Snake Eyes. We didn't win, so screw them. I won't be going back.
No more publicity for you.
Yeah, that's all they get.
1-star review.
They had no idea who I was, but that's okay.
Exactly.
All right. So I wanted to move on to Landon. I know that our fans are anxiously awaiting hearing about the team that you put together for your superhero fantasy football team, and Matt and I know we are chomping at the bit to learn how much better your team is than ours. So why don't we move on to the fantasy football of heroes? Why didn't I think of that before? That's pretty good. Fantasy football of heroes.
Well, at least you figured it out here. So
we finally worked it out.
Yeah. It's funny you said picked the best of your teams. I'd like to go with the term fixed y'all's teams because I have some bones to pick, I guess, with some of your choices.
Nah,
like
surely
I
not.
nearly wrecked my car when you just decided, Jay, he's popular. Let's just throw the Black Panther out there. It's the kicker. The kicker. Are you kidding me? The kicker.
For the record, that wasn't my reasoning, but okay.
Yeah, you had some little giant, like, well, we'll just have the team step on his foot before he goes and kicks a kicker. Really?
Exactly.
And then I also saw through your troll moves, Jay trying to bait me with Hawkeye and Matt with Beast. I saw through your troll moves. Like y'all are tricksy hobbits. I get that. But I decided to do my own team. I only chose one player that was taken from either of your teams, and it was just Jay's kicker, which, I mean, in terms of football, that's
kicker.
barely a position.
Well, I'm glad you saw that he is a valuable member of any team, and particularly at the kicker position. So I'm glad we know who your kicker is.
Yeah, he is a valuable member of my team because he is my RB1, Black Panther, carrying the rock out of the backfield. And in front of him, he has a leader of men and women and aliens, somebody who can get down in the trench with you, and somebody who can do it all day. I have Steve Rogers, Captain America, as my running back 2/fullback.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
like
and the quarterback position, I also have another captain, somebody with military experience. This time on a more cosmic scale, I'm going Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay. I like that one.
Yeah, yeah. Just think about this team I'm building right now. Out of the backfield, I have Black Panther and Captain America and Captain Marvel, so I can do a little, option spread if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I can, do fake handoff one way, Captain America up the gut, or I can have my wide receiver 3 come off the corner on a handoff. Somebody with the ability to sense what's going on. Some would say it's a spider sense. I got Peter Parker, the amazing Spider-Man, at wide receiver 3.
Nice. I'd love to see Peter Parker on a little jet sweep action.
Absolutely. I mean, think like a little Tavon Austin if you're watching the NFL, something like that. But it would actually work, unlike Tavon Austin in the NFL. And plus, I mean, what's not to say? Like, if you need like 6 yards, like on a button hook, he's gonna get it. Or he's gonna bring down that catch if you just put it in his vicinity because he has sticky hands,
sticky fingers. You're right. Good call.
Or you could go to your second wide receiver 2. It might be a 1 in a million shot that she catches this pass, but she has the ability of hex magic. I'm going the Scarlet Witch at wide receiver 2.
There you go.
Okay.
And every team needs a wide receiver 1, a big giant target that your quarterback can just bomb it down there, and this big massive thing is going to come down with it. I'm going Galactus at wide receiver 1.
Galactus. He is the stadium.
That's
okay.
ridiculous.
All right. That feels a little unfair. So I won't go Galactus, but I will go his Herald, the Silver Surfer.
Oh, nice.
Does he have the surfboard, or is he just trekking it?
Of course, he has the surfboard.
I knew.
Does Wolverine have his claws? Okay. At tight end, y'all know how I love a little alliteration, a little M2M. I'm thinking Marvel to Marvel. At tight end, I have Kamala Khan. Miss Marvel at tight end because she can go as big or as small as she wants to. And, if you just need to reach 5 more inches over the line to get that first down, she has the ability to grow and stretch her limbs. So, you know what? She's going to get that first down every time you need it. Like guys, I don't want to tell you I'm killing you, but I'm killing you.
Yeah, she's an embiggener. That's
and then I guess since I have to draft a kicker, I'm going to go another probability person, somebody who can, control their own fate. I'm going to go the Black Cat.
So, what makes you think she'd be a good kicker?
She can control probability, not to the scale of like the Scarlet Witch. I mean, it might be, let's say a 1 in 500 chance that she gets this kick, but she can control it to where it's that 1 in 500.
I see what you're saying. Okay. All right. I'll give it to you. I don't like it, but I'll give it to you.
Oh, well, I really don't care if you like it because you got to give it to me. Had to be a better way to phrase that. I'm sorry. All right, going to my bench. I wanted to pull Thanos, but since he is a starting running back for the Titans, and it's appropriate since he's on the Titans, I'm going to go with the person Thanos was based on, but has been left in the dust by Thanos. I'm going Darkseid.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that is a bad man coming off the bench. And speaking of bad man, this is somebody who takes everything you say literally. So if I tell this person, I want you to go out there and get me 5 yards, or I want you to go out there and bring me that quarterback's head, he's doing that. It's Drax the Destroyer.
and you are going to be entertained because he's been working on his stand-up comedy.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a top 5 for sure.
Seriously, yeah, he has been working on his tight 5. Dave Bautista's timing. Who'd have thought he had great comedic time? Anyway, coming off the bench, I'm gonna go Spider number 2, Miles Morales, another one of my boy. Also Spider 2, Why Banana #groomers.
Jeez.
And to fill out my final bench spot, and this is one that I can't believe y'all missed. Y'all are talking about football, and y'all are talking about superheroes. This is an ex-football player in the NFL. Of course, I'm talking about NFL Super Pro.
I have
from Marvel Comics.
No idea who that is. I've never heard
It's
of it.
Phil
Might as well put Bo Jackson in there from the Pro Stars.
An ex-NFL football player who survives a freak accident and wears and this is true, near indestructible football uniform. So, I mean, check and mate, y'all. I got NFL Super Pro.
Oh, my gosh.
Football is his superpower, apparently. Or his uniform is his superpower. Oh, and my coach is Dr. Doom. So,
Doctor.
I actually considered one of him.
Well, I originally wanted to pick Bill Belichick, but he's not in the Marvel Universe. Then I wanted to pick Saban, but he's not in the Marvel Universe. So then I was going to go with Mephisto, but that just felt too on the nose. So I settled for Dr. Doom.
All right. You know, if you hadn't picked Black Panther, you really wouldn't have had a single player from either of our teams. We could have just thrown it out there for a poll this week to see which of these teams would really dominate on the gridiron. But there can't be 2 Black Panthers.
Yes, there can.
I mean,
there's been 2 Black Panthers.
Well, but okay. I guess if we got specific about it, we could do that. Yeah, maybe we'll do it. I might do it.
Well, screw that. My team is better than yours in another aspect because my players play both offense and defense. So there you go.
Well,
I
think we were kind of assuming that. Really, we're going the high school style of they're going to have to play both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, just look at my team. Y'all have heard of the Power T? My backfield is the Royalty.
The Royalty. Oh, so it's full of Inhumans, I guess. Then.
No, different Royalty. I'm more of the Wakandan Royalty.
Yeah. I like it.
Wakanda forever.
I like it though, but I got to tell you, I do feel like you know, you cannot deny the picks of Flash and Quicksilver at the wide receiver spot because
I mean they're good, but that's kind of why I didn't go with that route because they were a little too on the nose.
Well, yeah, of course.
You picked a super football guy. And you think that's on the nose?
No, mine is hilarious.
Very true.
Very
true.
I mean, once again, sorry for the energy. Who the fuck remembers NFL Super Pro? The guy whose power is football.
Nobody.
No one.
You did.
Exactly.
You did. And I appreciate you for that. Well, we'll put it out there. We will put it out there for our listeners to tell us who really put together, who assembled, if I may, because I feel like that's an appropriate word, who assembled the ultimate fantasy football team of heroes. You've seen my lineup, you've seen Matt's. I'll do another. Hey, I don't care to do another Word document and screenshot it and put it back out there.
Wow, look at you, Jay.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Really stepping up there.
Yeah.
Or better yet, I'll just send it to you. Real quick, I can do a pro team of your starters that y'all picked.
Oh, you want to just pick between the two? That's fine. Do it.
All right. Quarterback, I'm going to go Batman. Sorry, Tony Stark. Running back, I'm going Thanos and the Juggernaut. Wide receiver core, I'm going Flash at 1. I'm going Nightcrawler at 2. Sinestro at 3. Tight end, I will go Colossus over Luke Cage, and Black Panther at kicker. Lol.
Ha! Yes.
Bullseye's so much better.
Bullseye was good.
Actually, yeah, Matt's right. I am going to go Bullseye there. Because he can't miss.
Yeah.
You can't miss.
Exactly.
Terrible attitude. But can't miss.
I was going to say he might be another player I could be, go get me that quarterback's head, and he will literally do it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I think that's good. I like that. I think that's the ultimate team. I really do think, out of all, other than Super NFL Man,
his name's NFL Super Pro. Come on,
okay.
Show some respect.
Other than NFL Super Pro,
NSP.
I don't think that there's a better, more suited player than Juggernaut for the football field. And I really think running back's awesome, but he could play tight end. He could probably play a lot of positions out there. I mean, he's already
all positions.
Everything except hands.
Yeah,
I feel like.
And he's already got the helmet. So
you're gonna have to magnetize that ball to his chest. I got a feeling.
I was gonna say, put him at fullback. Like nobody will touch your running back, your tight end, your offensive line, your quarter. Like nobody will touch anybody.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, understanding that time is of the essence today, because I know we all want to get to the Avengers conversation, let's move on. And I wanted to ask Landon, you were playing God of War, and you told us before we started recording that you've actually finished it. Did the entire end-to-end soup-to-nuts game live up to your initial experience? Was it as good as you thought it was going to be?
Well, if you remember, a couple weeks ago, we reported that this was the most highly rated game since Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild came out for the Switch last year. So, I mean, this is a game that had more perfect scores than any other score numbers before it got released into the wild. So it had high expectations, and having finished the main story, I haven't finished everything, and I'm going to go back and do that. The fact that I'm going to go back and do that, not only does it live up to the hype, it far exceeds the hype. Like, I feel comfortable. We're recording this on the 6th of May. I feel comfortable saying God of War is the game of the year for this year. And there are very few titles that I think can even enter the conversation. Like, I think Detroit Being Too Human could possibly do it if you like the whole, art as a game type thing. That could be interesting. Obviously, Red Dead 2 coming out, I think, in October. And then on the PS4, Spider-Man coming out. I think those are a few of the handful of games that are going to be able to even talk about competing with God of War. Like, God of War is the type of gaming experience, if you don't have a PS4, go get a PS4 so you can experience this. Like, I have not had this type of, like, oh my God, like, mind-opening gaming experiences in a while. And it's like, if have either of you played the original God of War trilogy?
I haven't played, I can't tell you I've played it all, but I have played those games.
Okay.
Yes. I'm exposed to them.
Okay, Matt?
I have
okay,
not.
all right. Well, in this God of War, it really feels like Kratos has grown up, and the game has grown up with the character, because in the original trilogy, he's this angst-ridden rage monster Spartan warrior who made a deal with a god that went horribly wrong, but he got some really kick-ass powers, and he's being played by the gods all through these games, and fuel and rage and anger is the only thing that fuels him and inches him further down his path. Mm-hmm. Where in the PS4 God of War, it's an older Kratos. It's a more well-thought Kratos. It's a grayer Kratos. It's a Kratos that isn't nearly as ready to jump into war and, tear people apart like he did. And it's like the character has grown up and the gameplay has grown up with it, because don't get me wrong when I say this, the original trilogy is only, button mashing, working combos with a little bit of exploration. And that's not a knock on the original trilogy, because I really liked those games. Like,
there's the original. I would say there's a little bit of puzzle work too.
Yeah, there is some puzzle work, and they mix it in very nicely with the combo work and leveling up the Blades of Chaos and all the equipment you get in 3. And it's like, I would honestly equate this more to an experience like The Witcher 3. Like the combat is more over is over the shoulder, like because in the original God of War trilogy, the camera is fixed in one spot, so you can see everything, and it feels more like this grandiose movie, like Jason and the Argonauts, and you're fighting like 100 skeletons that are coming around you. Where in God of War, the PlayStation one, it's it's camera over your right shoulder. You can move it around with the right joystick. And the combat feels like Witcher. It's very like, all right, I counter here. I need to roll out of the way when this enemy attacks because I know I can't block it. I need to do this power move because this character is immune to ice, so I need to switch to fire and vice versa. And the last game that made me feel that way was The Witcher. It's a very open world game, deep in lore, like a combat system that you have to pay attention to, but once it clicks, it's very rewarding. And I think God of War is very similar in that vein. And if you're a fan of Norse mythology, the story they tell is so cool. And it, like, as soon as the game loads up, it like boom, you hit the ground running. So I love that aspect. I could keep going on, but like Jay said earlier, time is of the essence. I can't say enough good things about God of War. Again, if you do not have a PlayStation 4, this is the type of game that you need to drop the coin to go get a PlayStation 4 Pro and this game, because like I have not had this gaming experience in the longest time.
This sounds like so much thinking. Can't I just mash buttons?
I mean, there is a difficulty mode where it says, I'm just here for the story. So,
nice. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm in. Back in.
Yeah, Sony Santa Monica has your back.
So let me ask a deeper question that I think you could answer pretty quickly. Do you feel like this game or this whole series has grown up with its players? You were talking about him being more calculated and like, I'm not just going to go out there and beat people to death and then, sort through the rubble and figure out why. You think that's because all the people who started playing this are now middle-aged and that's more of their style of life now?
That's actually a really good call that I hadn't even thought of, because I mean, if you think about it, like when the original God of War came out, I was a teenager, like in high school, that was like all angst-ridden, listening to my Limp Biscuits and my Corns and writing on my live journals and whatever. And figuring out who was in my top 8 on my MySpace page. Y'all remember that stuff? Yeah, we're going.
Absolutely, that ruined and that made friendships and ruined them.
Absolutely, top 8, the first digital home wrecker, way before Ashley Madison.
That's right.
But
no better way to tell a girl you weren't interested anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You just dropped off the 8.
And then Facebook came along with It's Complicated, which I mean, that's a whole different can of worms.
Right.
But that's actually a really good call, because I mean, now if the players started playing when the first one came out and they've stuck with the trilogy, I mean, God of War 3 came out 5 years ago, and off the top of my head, I'm sure somebody can do a Google search as I talk. I don't know when the original God of War came out, but it's been well over a decade. I mean, at least a decade. Like, I'd say it's closer to 15 years than a decade at this point, but that is a good call, because those gamers, in theory, have grown up from those adolescent, hormone rage monsters that they were at the time, where they just want to, I am the ghost of Sparta and you will not tell me that I have to do my homework tonight, woman, or some crap like that. So it's like, okay, that's not actually how adults solve situations. Yeah, you can go in there and, punch somebody to death, but, there's some ramifications in a society. And it's like, they're not going to throw Kratos in Norris jail for doing that. But at the same time, this is a Kratos that is now thinking 3 to 4 steps ahead, as opposed to, well, I'm just going to rip this guy's head off and then use his head as a weapon for the rest of the game.
You ask, I deliver. The original God of War, March 22nd, 2005 on the PlayStation 2.
Okay, so dang, it's about 13 years. So it's right in the middle, in between a decade and 15 years. So I guess it's technically closer to 15 than a decade.
I'd say so.
But I mean, still, it's like, that is a really good call. Like Kratos and the game itself has grown up as its gamers had, because I mean, back then, I mean, again, I don't want to take anything away from it. It was a lot of button mashing, just mash on the light attack, get in there with a heavy attack, do a roll, use this ability, where now it's like, it feels more like a Witcher experience. It feels more like a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls. Like, it has a combat system that you have to pay attention to, Otherwise, it's going to wreck your stuff. But once it clicks, it's very rewarding.
Awesome.
Again, I cannot say enough good things about this game. I'm looking forward to playing more of my original game, and I'm looking forward to going back and playing a new game so I can see if I can pick up on some nuances now that I know what's going on. By the way, the story is flat out amazing. The story is part of what drew me through this entire thing. There were moments where my jaw was dropped when the story would reveal stuff. Like this game is awesome.
I was going to say a little extra in there. There is a podcast that does like kind of some supportive narrative. It's called The Lost Pages. And if you want more of what you're, doing in the game there, Santa Monica actually is a partner in the podcast with one of the podcasts I listen to, which is Jason Weiser, and he goes through and gives you like a quite a bit of narrative, like background and supporting characters. So
yeah, dude, send me a text reminding me of that, because I would definitely like to check it out. Because, like I said, if you're a Norse mythology honk, like if you think Thor is cool and not just in the Marvel comic sense, like if you think the World Serpent is a really cool story, and Odin and Loki and Balder and all those old gods, if you think that stuff is cool, this game is right up your alley. At least with the story and the world that they build.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Thor, I think I'm going to call it, because I'm ready to get to some Avengers Infinity War talk. You guys ready for it?
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Okay. Listen, my friends, we are getting ready to get into Spoilerville. So if you're not down for that, it's time for you to exit the battle bus. I am going to say, let's take a little break. And when we come back, it's time to talk Avengers Infinity War. Stay with us. Hold on there a second, Justin. Excuse me for overruling my overruling, but I didn't know then what I know now. And let me tell you something. These three idiots that you've been listening to for the last 30 minutes can go on way longer than anybody ever thought about the Avengers Infinity War movie. This ended up being our longest review that we've ever done. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to stop the show right here today. And our next show is going to be part 1 of what might end up being a 3-parter, just depending on how I divide it up, of our Avenger Infinity War review. So I want to thank everybody for listening today. Come back if you want that spoilerific review of Avengers Infinity War. Otherwise, we will talk to you all again next week. Let's get some plugs in here really quick, since my guys didn't get a chance to do it. If you want to catch up with Matt and everything that was going on in Star Trek Discovery, he's got a podcast for you. It's Tracking Trek, the podcast. So that's at Trekking Trek Pod on Twitter. Landon, he's got a few things going on buttmuchchips.com. You can go over there and hear all about wrestling on Nearfall Radio, or you can listen to Got Talk, or Game of Thrones Talk, a podcast where he and Hunter East talk all about HBO's award-winning Game of Thrones. As for me, I've got the Monday Morning Monorail. You can hop on board over at Morning Monorail on Twitter and catch up with our first few episodes, where me and my family talk all about Walt Disney World, because we're a bunch of Mickey nerds. You can get your fill of all the audio you want in the meantime if Avengers Infinity War spoilers are not for you. If they are, hey, I guess just let this play on to the next track. See you all later.